The Center for Vulnerable Populations is a research center, and that means we're devoted fundamentally to discovery and innovation, to new ideas, and to studying to figure out what is most effective.
The work that CVP does is so critically important because we have, as a society, evolved into one in which we have the haves and have-nots.
So we decided that a Center for Vulnerable Populations could be established with the goal of looking at better ways to improve the quality and safety and care that these patients receive.
We have a remarkably dedicated group of staff who are just as committed to the core mission of CVP as our faculty.
I'm biased because I am a staff person, but working with the staff I feel are really a big piece of the heart of CVP.
10 years ago, almost to the day, I started the center as one person. I invited Kirsten Bibbins-Domingo to join me. She now is the director of the center.
The growth of CVP has been really remarkable to me over time. When we first started 10 years ago, it was really not much more than the two of us.
By doing experiments and trying to understand what things work best for this population, we could actually identify best practices. We could identify new ways of approaching and managing patients from vulnerable groups.
Working with the CVP faculty and staff has been wonderful. They're all very kind. I actually have a good time when I participate in the studies. We laugh, and I feel like they treat me like my opinion counts.
What CVP adds is that tremendous academic spark to help us to develop and prove which strategies are helpful and then disseminate them locally and globally.
There is concern in the community about research, and I think underrepresented minorities who in the past have been discouraged to participate in research studies will actively jump forward and come forward and want to participate if we show them that we care. And the center and the people who work in the Center for Vulnerable Populations, they know that probably more than anybody.
I've been a volunteer for the Center of Vulnerable Populations as a patient, bringing in the perspective of a patient. It's not only nice, it's great that they want patients to give feedback.
The statistics that researchers offer are tremendously important, but unless they're attached to individual stories that people can understand and see, they tend to get lost.
Because of their title is Center for Vulnerable Populations, I didn't realize that I'm part of the vulnerable population, and they reached me and they helped me, so if they keep on doing the work that they're doing, they can reach others and help others too.
There are multiple contributors to health. There are things that happen that individuals do that affect their health. The types of health policies, environmental policies, housing, education policies that all ultimately have an impact on an individual and their community and how they achieve health.
Our faculty and staff have been tremendously effective in partnering with community-based organizations. We have Eat SF as a wonderful example of trying to eliminate food insecurity in San Francisco and thereby reduce the prevalence and incidence of type 2 diabetes.
My income is just under $1,000 a month. Over the course of a month, I don't even think that I have $1 a day to buy food. A social worker I know talked to me about Eat SF. I applied for it and was accepted.
SF Build is an NIH-funded project that is tasked with understanding what works for whom and in what context with respect to increasing the participation of underrepresented groups in biomedical research. If the biomedical research workforce is not diverse, we're not going to get the best answers.
The bigger picture is a campaign that is centered on youth voice and the creation of media to counter the type 2 diabetes crisis in young people.
With the Bigger Picture Project, we talk a lot about how health is often determined or heavily impacted by what's in your environment, what's around you, what you have access to.
I want us to be taking on bigger projects, bigger ideas, and things that involve multiple faculty contributing their expertise. If we could harness all that together, I think that we could set and achieve a very clear goal.
You know, it's been an honor to work with CVP. It's expanded the way that we see the power in our own work.
I want to congratulate the faculty and staff of CVP and say you're doing a wonderful job that we're doing together and that you've been doing for the last 10 years.
It makes me feel really good to know that there's folks that are championing health, that are there for health equity, that are serving the communities that need it the most.
They should be proud of what they're accomplishing, and they should continue to work very hard to do even better. And I think we will improve the care of patients that we really care about.
Really, I would just like to say congratulations to everyone who's been with CVP for this whole 10 years. This really is a magical place, and I'm really happy to be a part of it, so congratulations.
What we're doing here is both unprecedented and nearly impossible. And one needs to suspend disbelief in this work. And we're talking about taking on major social challenges. I just hope that we keep the faith and keep going.